All right, let's dive into something pretty fascinating today. We're tackling purpose. You know, that thing everyone's always searching for.
Yeah, like the meaning of life type stuff.
Exactly. We're dissecting an episode from the Creative Mind podcast by Raymond Goyd. It's called Finding Purpose in Life and Work. And honestly, it's packed with good stuff. They even talk about Simon Sinek's Start With Why and, like, Viktor Frankl's whole experience.
Oh, yeah, powerful stuff.
So where do we even begin with purpose?
Well, right away, how Raymond Goyd define it really caught my attention. They don't make it this huge, singular thing you gotta find.
More like a journey.
Yeah, it's like this sense of direction, of meaning woven throughout your life, not just one big goal.
And they give us such practical examples. They say purpose can be about making a difference, being creative, connecting with people.
Or just living authentically, true to yourself.
Exactly. It's like they're saying purpose can look totally different for everyone. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing.
Totally. It's about what motivates you, what gives you fulfillment.
Which reminds me, they brought up Simon Sinek, that why concept of his.
Oh, yeah, big fan of his work.
What are your thoughts on that whole finding your why thing?
Look, Sinek nails it when he says it's not just what you do, but why you do it. Like, two people, same job title, could have completely different motivations.
Right, like one's passionate about the work itself, the other just wants a promotion.
Exactly. Their why shapes their whole experience, how they feel about the work, their sense of purpose in it.
So I'm thinking, could focusing on that why help when things get tough, if you know your deeper reason?
Absolutely. It's like fuel for resilience. And that brings us to Viktor Frankl, the example Raymond Goyd gave.
Oh yeah, his experience in the concentration camp.
Unthinkable suffering, right. But he found even there, purpose was key.
In what way, though?
Love for his family, finding meaning in work, facing each day with courage. It's like purpose became his strength.
It's almost hard to grasp. But it shows how powerful purpose can be. It's
Yeah.
more than just happiness or success.
Yeah. It's like an inner strength, a source of hope in dark times.
So it sounds like purpose doesn't have to be this massive world-changing thing.
No, not at all. Raymond Goyd are very clear about that.
They're saying it can be in everyday moments, too.
Exactly. Supporting loved ones, community stuff, things that bring you joy.
Like, we don't need to put pressure on ourselves to find one big purpose, but instead,
Cultivate meaning in what we already do.
I like that. So we've touched on purpose in different parts of life, but what about our careers? How does purpose fit into work?
Well, ideally, your work aligns with your values, your passions.
Makes sense.
You feel fulfilled, contribute your talents, but Raymond Goyd get that this isn't always the case.
Right. For some, work is just a means to an end.
And that's totally fine, they say. They emphasize finding purpose outside of work, too.
Like in hobbies, relationships, community involvement.
Exactly. It's about balance. Purpose doesn't have to live solely in your job. To illustrate this, they bring up some interesting examples.
I'm all ears. Who do they talk about?
They contrast Howard Schultz, the former Starbucks CEO, with J.K. Rowling.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So Schultz, they explain, found purpose in creating community through Starbucks. He wanted it to be more than just a coffee shop.
A place to connect? Belong? I can see that. And what about Rowling?
Her story's different. She found purpose in writing way before Harry Potter's success.
Even when she was struggling.
Yeah, writing was her passion, her outlet, her purpose, even before any fame.
So one found purpose through work, the other in a creative pursuit that later became their work. What's the takeaway there?
It highlights how unique each person's journey is. There's no formula for finding purpose. It's about aligning your actions with what matters to you, whether in your career, hobbies, relationships, or all of them.
So the big question then is, how do we actually discover our purpose? Where do we even start?
That's where things get really interesting. Raymond Goyd offers some solid advice on this. They start by talking about, experimentation.
Okay, so try new things, seeing what fits.
Exactly. You got to step outside your comfort zone, see what sparks your interest.
Makes sense. It's like taking purpose for a test drive, seeing where it leads you.
Totally. And they even quote Oprah on this,
Oh, I love Oprah. What'd she say?
She said, "The key to realizing a dream is to focus not on success, but on significance. And then even the small steps and little victories along your path will take on greater meaning."
That's so good. It's not about hitting some big milestone, but finding meaning in the journey itself.
Exactly. Even the small wins feel like victories when you're driven by significance.
It's like you're intrinsically motivated, not chasing external validation.
Right on. So Raymond Goyd seemed to be advocating for this mindful approach to purpose.
Not rushing to the finish line, but appreciating the process, finding those little bits of meaning along the way.
Absolutely. They also talk about those common roadblocks, those misconceptions people have about purpose.
Oh, like what?
Like the pressure to find your one true calling as if there's only one right answer.
Ugh, yeah, that's so stressful.
Right. But they challenge that. Purpose isn't some static thing you just find. It's dynamic. It evolves.
That's such a relief. So it's okay if what feels meaningful now changes later on.
Totally. Embrace the evolution, they say.
Another thing they tackle is like that whole purpose equals success myth.
Ah, yes. They're like, hey, purpose can be in everyday moments, too.
So it doesn't have to be about changing the world or hitting some huge achievement.
Nope. It can be finding joy in the simple things, connecting with people, appreciating beauty around you.
I like that. Especially in our culture where busyness is praised, it's easy to forget the simple joys.
They also address one of the biggest obstacles to finding purpose: fear.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Fear of failure, judgment,
Yeah.
stepping outside that comfort zone, it can be paralyzing.
They get it. They say acknowledge those fears, but don't let them stop you.
Like, it's okay to be scared, but keep moving forward anyway.
Right. Purpose isn't about having a perfect plan, but having the courage to act, even in small ways.
It's about vulnerability, trusting you'll figure it out along the way.
Exactly. And to inspire people, Raymond Goyd shares stories of those who found purpose in different ways.
Oh, like who?
They start with Malala Yousafzai, the activist for girls' education.
Wow, her story is incredible. Talk about resilience in the face of adversity.
Then they contrast her with Steve Jobs, the tech innovator.
So, two very different paths, but both driven by purpose.
Yeah, they both challenged the status quo, made a lasting impact.
It's amazing how diverse purpose can be. Not limited to a specific field or type of person.
And they don't just focus on famous people.
Oh, right. They also talk about the everyday heroes, right?
Exactly. Teachers, healthcare workers, artists, community organizers, they often find deep purpose in what they do.
It's a good reminder that purpose isn't about fame or fortune, but about making a difference, even in small ways.
Aligning your actions with your values, your aspirations.
So inspiring. It really feels like we all have the potential to live purposeful lives, no matter what our situation is.
And now, before we move to the final takeaway from this episode, let's bring you, the listener, into this.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what's resonated with you so far.
What stood out in this exploration of purpose? We'll be back to wrap up our deep dive shortly.
And we're back. It's amazing to see how everyone connects with purpose so differently.
Yeah, the variety is fascinating. For me, what's striking is how often connection itself comes up when people talk about purpose.
Like the listeners.
Yeah. So many mentioned relationships, community, even nature. It's like those bonds fuel purpose.
That makes me think about something Raymond Goy talked about, focusing on significance over success.
Yeah, it ties in perfectly. When you prioritize connection and impact, your actions have deeper meaning.
It's almost like a shift in mindset, right? From what can I achieve to what difference can I make?
Exactly. And that can change how you experience your life and work completely.
Purpose becomes less about personal gain and more about contributing to something bigger.
Right on. So as we wrap up this deep dive into purpose, Raymond Goyd gave a beautiful summary I want to share.
Oh yeah, what was it?
They called purpose a compass, a spark, and day an anchor.
Wow, that's pretty powerful imagery.
It is. It captures how purpose can guide you, ignite your passion, and keep you grounded all at once.
That they emphasize that it's not about having all the answers right away.
It's about the journey, approaching life with intention and curiosity.
So being open to exploration, figuring things out as we go, connecting with what truly matters.
And remember, it is a journey, not a destination. Your sense of purpose will change over time.
It might be crystal clear one moment, then uncertain the next. But even uncertainty is a chance to grow.
Exactly. Allow yourself to experiment, try new things, push your boundaries a bit.
You never know what might light that spark, lead you down a new path. And don't be afraid to ask for guidance from mentors or people you trust who've been on their own purpose journey.
Absolutely. And be kind to yourself throughout the process. This isn't about being perfect, but about progress.
Showing up each day with that intention, that curiosity, and a desire to make a difference, big or small.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of purpose. We hope it sparks some new insights for you.
And remember, you're not alone in this quest. We're all in this together, supporting each other, learning, creating a more meaningful and connected world.
So until next time, keep diving deep.